So here's what you got to do. Number one, okay, you ready? And this is probably journal worthy. It's up to you if you want to write this down, but you need to create your own personal philosophy. When you are performing really, really well, like for me, that's being on stage. Like I just know, like, oh my God, that's where I belong. That's when I'm happiest. Okay. So when I'm on stage, throw me anywhere on stage, pretty much it's just where I come alive. That's where I feel like I'm at my best. And sometimes I'll literally go on stage and I have my own little mantra before I go on and I'll say your words, not mine. I don't even know who I'm talking to because I don't really have one specific religious philosophy. I just don't. And then I'll get off stage and people are like, that was great. And I'll go, awesome. What did I say? Because I won't know. And that's not like, I don't mean that in a braggy way. I literally won't know because I just plug into whatever it is and I just go. And part of that philosophy, if you hear what I said there, the philosophy there is I trust. That's part of my personal philosophies. I'm going to trust myself to always deliver what needs to be delivered. And I will be present enough in the moment. I won't even remember later, but I'll be present enough in the moment to feel what people are needing and be able to say it. Okay. That's why I call myself an intuitive coach a lot of the times, because I don't know. People are like, well, what's your program? I'm like, I listen to you and I talk to you about what's going on for you. And then I coach your ass. That's what happens. So I call myself an intuitive coach because I'll sit with you and actually like talk to you about it and say, what do we need to do here to have you move your life to the next level, right? Move your business to the next level. Same thing happens for me on stage. So I'm doing this, you guys, to help you figure out your philosophy too. But do you hear that? So there's self-trust and there's presence. And those are part of my philosophies. The reason that's important, you guys, when you get scared about what other people think and you start to stop taking action, you start pulling back, right? You're like, oh my God, you're not trusting your own philosophy. Define your philosophy. What do you think it is? Is it integrity? Is it about always being honest? Is part of your philosophy about always doing the best work, even if it's not your favorite work, right? That's that whole be the best hamburger flipper, right? Philosophy that a lot of people talk about. Like, hey, I tell you guys all the time, when I first started out, I had to take other jobs. Big deal. That's what you got to do, right? Who cares? We all need cash flow. You must have cash flow or you're not going to feel good. So do what you need to do that, but do it well. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're delivering with excellence and you're being kind and you're contributing to someone else's life, someone else's happiness. And you can do that anywhere. Working at Pottery Barn, working at Starbucks, pumping somebody's gas. Really, like, can you not make somebody's day when you do that? Like, do you guys get it? Doesn't matter what the thing is you're doing. It just doesn't. And in our weird society, we've labeled some high class and some low class. I don't know what the hell that's about. Like every single kind of work has dignity and every single type of work allows you to contribute to someone else's life. If you know what your philosophy is, you hearing that? So I'm saying, like, who cares what someone else thinks? How are you delivering? And there's something underneath that I just want to share that I think is really important as you're delivering your philosophy is we want to understand our own drivers, like what makes us excited to get up in the morning, like what has us want to get out in the world and deliver with excellence. One of the biggest things for every human being, I have yet to meet somebody where I can't dig a little bit and find this, it's contribution, contributing. We want to know we matter because we know if we're contributing, we're a valued member of the tribe. Cool, right? But it's a way to flip that on its head. So it's not, oh my God, what do they think? Oh my God, what do they think? Oh my God, what do they think? Instead, it's I'm contributing. I'm going to show up my best. I'm contributing. And then what happens on the other side of it doesn't matter as much. It's very, very powerful. It's very cool. And then also the other thing I'd love for you to look at is what are your favorite words? Sounds a little light and fluffy. I don't mean it that way, but like really, what are your words? And if you don't know, one of the things I'd have you do is just sort of freeform, like just write. What are all the words you love? And then like circle the top 4 or 5. And that will also tell you what your philosophy is. Okay, cool. I hope this is helpful, but this is truly how you stop worrying about what other people think. What I want you to do is have a very, very, very short list of people, very tight. Like we are talking 2, 3, maybe 4 people that you know you can go to and say, I need you to call me on this, right? I need you to look at this for me and tell me if this is in alignment with me. This is my personal philosophy. I think this is right. And they can give you feedback on that, okay? So what you want to look at there is those are the opinions. Those are the opinions that matter to you. So the next way to release a little bit of your concern about what other people think is to make fun of yourself a lot. No, not that, though it does help. Actually is to push your own boundaries. Why does that help? I'll tell you why that helps. That helps because you get lit up by that. Remember I said one of the other human drives was contribution? One of our other big drives is learning. Right now, if you just went, Sarah, I hate learning. I remember math in the second grade when I fell asleep and then the teacher, no. That is rote learning. That is not learning necessarily by choice. That's necessity learning, right? Those are things we must learn in order to function in society. And you might have been pissed off that you had to learn that 5 times 3 was 15, but you need it. So that's necessity learning. So that's a little bit different. That's not what I'm talking about. And if you're super honest with yourself, I will bet you there were moments even in school where you found joy. There's learning that's super fun. Can you just please pick one thing that you want to learn this year? So maybe you've always wanted to learn how to speak Italian. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to make pizza dough from scratch. I think those are connected in my head, and maybe I'm a little bit hungry. Maybe you want to take an art class or a sculpturing class or a ballroom dancing class. It doesn't matter what it is. But what that will do, that experience of pushing your own boundaries and then triggering that human drive to learn, you'll be so engaged, you won't care what other people think. Wild how that works. So you're looking for inward fulfillment. And the more that you do that and making sure you're aligned with your philosophy, making sure you're only listening to the people you really admire and their opinions of what you're working on and what you're doing and what you're producing out there in the world, right? That combination, you guys, while you're deeply involved and starting to feel fulfilled, it changes the game. People who are further down the line than you, they won't worry about that stuff with you. They just won't, because they know it doesn't matter because they've done this work, right? They've done this work to dig in and release what other people are thinking or saying about them, right? Because they're busy. They are on their life's path. They are doing what they're here to do. And your opinion can go do bad things to itself in the dark. They don't care because they're alive and fulfilled and crackling with energy. Totally different. And they're busy doing what they're here to do. People who complain and critique aren't producing. Who's more qualified to tell you how you're doing? The person who does nothing but sits around and critiques, or the person who's on the field next to you working just as hard as you are? That's why I want a small list of people that you turn to. Those are the opinions that matter to you. The rest of them can go suck an egg, right? I mean, come on. So I hope this has been super helpful. If you guys have any questions, I always pick the lightest topics, don't I? All right. I love you guys. Happy New Year.